Greetings, friends, and welcome to Beast Foundry. My name is Christian, and as usual, I will be your guide today. Today, we are going to talk about something that vexes players and GMs alike, and that is the rules for if you are hidden, if you are undetected, if you are observed, if you are unnoticed. There's a little bit to cover here, and ultimately, it just requires repetition to get used to it, so that way you don't forget. But the greatest level of stealth that you can achieve is unnoticed. And that means no one knows you're there. They have no clue that you're even around. Beyond that is undetected. Now that means they know you're there. However, they do not know what square you're in. So on top of there being a mischance, they have to also target the exact square that you're in with no help. Just we're randomly going to pick a square, and that's where hopefully you are. From there, we have hidden. Now, they know exactly what square you're in, and when they attack it, they have to make a flat check DC 11. So they roll a 20. If it's 11 or higher, they'll hit you, or they can attempt to hit you. If it is 10 or lower, it's going to be a miss no matter what. And then there is observed, the weakest form. They see you, they know you're there. That's pretty much the standard of a fight. There's the enemy, go get them. There's a couple of things here that are important to go over. Most players in a fight start as observed or possibly undetected if they are using stealth for their initiative. Once their position is known, typically by attacking, the opponents will now kind of realize where they are. You can still get to hidden, and this is typically done by hiding or sneaking, or most commonly, the invisibility spell. When you are hidden through invisibility, the enemies cannot see you, and they have a flat 50% mischance. They have to roll that 11 or higher on the D20 check. When you move, they know exactly what square you're in unless you are sneaking. You have to successfully sneak to become undetected. And a lot of people forget that. They feel, I'm going to move, and they don't know where my monster is, or the players are like, I'm going to move, and they don't know where I'm at. This is completely untrue. Unless you sneak, they know exactly what square you're in. You think of it this way. You have to spend an action devoted to keeping your stealth if you want to go from hidden to undetected. So when you cast invisibility, they know they know where you are. You roll your stealth, and if you're sneaking, you move at 50% in your movement, and you can move a couple of squares away. And if you beat their perception, then they no longer have any idea where you're at. Now, detecting you isn't the hardest thing in the world most of the time for perceptive monsters or characters, because you can make a seek action, you roll your perception, and if you beat their stealth defense, you know what square they're in. Now, this doesn't mean you beat that 50-50 mischance. You still have to make your flat check, but you know what square they're in. So it's actually very difficult to move around in a fight and no one knows where you're at. So that's one of the key things to try to remember. There are some things that make this even harder to move around, like if a monster has scent. If it has scent, it is an imprecise sense. It knows what square you're in within 30 feet. And there's nothing you can do about that unless you cast, say, Negate Aroma. That is a primal spell that does remove your scent. And I think that sometimes people forget about. It's very useful to have guard dogs and things with you, because people can't sneak up on you. They could roll they could critically succeed on a massive stealth check. That doesn't matter. If something has scent, as soon as you walk into that, unless you have a way that is removing your scent, they know you're there. So there are other imprecise senses, such as tremor sense or motion sense. All of these go into that same venue. It is, while they never, they don't negate that mischance, but it is so very difficult to actually sneak up to someone. Now, just being hidden is awesome. The enemy is flat-footed against you. They don't know what you're doing. They can't see you. Also, when you move and do stuff, you don't provoke attacks of opportunity when they can't see you because they are effectively blind concerning you. So, there are tremendous advantages to it, but keep in mind, unless you are a wizard with a really good stealth score, do not count on invisibility to get you through a group of enemies. It's, super handy, and maybe if you use it in conjunction with a silence spell or something like that, that can be really helpful, unless something has an imprecise sense. So there's a lot of little things that go into this, and I know even from the GM side of things, it can be difficult. You have this tendency okay, my monster's invisible, I'm going to move him over here. You have to make a stealth check, and you can only move at 50% their speed unless you have some special ability to keep that level of undetected so they do not know what square you're in. If your monster is invisible and just moves, they automatically know what square you're in. They can target it. Everyone can. So these are just, a couple of little tidbits, and I know there's been a large influx of people into Pathfinder 2 lately, and this is one of the areas I definitely see a large amount of confusion in regards to. Now, on top of Hidden, there's also one other minor type of level of, it's called concealment. Instead of having that 50-50 mischance where you have to roll 11 or higher, it's only a 20% mischance. You have to roll a 5 or higher to hit them. This is typically granted through a couple different spells, but if you were fighting in low light and you don't have low light vision, not very thick fog, things like that, there are these things that can crop up that allow you to get that that level, that concealment, to just give you a little bit of boost. There's also spells that affect creatures' vision. They give them status effect of dazzled and other things like that, that they are, anything that they are affected by, say dazzled, the things they attack are concealed against them because their eyes, they hit bright light, they can't see what's going on. So there are all these other little intricacies, but most of the things are pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So I just wanted to touch base on this one because I see it misused all the time. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick gloss over of the rules, maybe a refresher if people have already read it and know it. But other than that, I just want to remind you guys that we are running a Pathfinder 2nd Edition West Marches out of the Roll for Intent Discord. We run games weekly. We have a ton of fun in there. It is a blast. We have well over 50 players, and it is a really good time. We are getting new people in every week. I'm also part of the Roll for Intent podcast, where we do a weekly actual play of the Abomination Vaults. And this is not, I know a lot of the live action or the actual playthroughs, just like any of those, we've had characters die. I think just in the last couple of months, we've had two of the main characters have been there from the beginning. They kicked the bucket, and now there are new characters in there. So it's fun. It is a blast. And so I do encourage you to check that out if you're looking for a podcast to listen to, or you just want to give it a listen. Also, please consider supporting me at Beast Foundry. Our Patreon, I have half a dozen ancestries, we have archetypes, we have tons of monsters, we have tons of equipment, well over 24 pieces of equipment that are all unique. We have familiars, we have all kinds of things there, and everything that can be added to Path Builder. I also have files that you can download and get that stuff into your Path Builder app or your web version of Path Builder. So we're always doing lots of stuff there. And all of that stuff we use in our West Marches games too. So if you want to, please check it out. And as always, please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful and whatnot. So all that typical fun YouTube stuff. And that's it for me for this week. And as usual, game well, my friends.